Hey, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great. I hope your heart is calm, and I truly hope you're smiling right now. Because today, we are going to talk about something that might just change the way you look at your entire life. The topic for today is Don't Waste Your Life. Yeah, I know, that sounds serious. And it is. But don't worry, I'm not here to scare you or lecture you. I'm here to have a real talk, like a friend sitting next to you, with a warm cup of tea or coffee in hand. Let's just talk, honestly, from the heart. So wherever you are right now, maybe you're walking, sitting in your room, scrolling through your phone, or maybe you're lying in bed. I want you to stay with me. Don't just listen with your ears. Listen with your heart. Because life, it's happening right now. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Right now. You know, most of us live like we have all the time in the world. We keep delaying things. We keep telling ourselves, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll change later. I'll be serious when the time is right. But the truth is, there's no guarantee that later will come. And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make you anxious or afraid. I just want you to wake up. I want you to realize how precious every single day is. Because I've seen people, smart, talented, loving people, waste years of their life on things that didn't matter. And I've done that too. I've spent days doing absolutely nothing. I've scrolled endlessly, compared myself with others online, doubted myself, procrastinated on my dreams, and then cried at night, wondering why I felt empty. Can you relate? Maybe you're in that space right now. Maybe you feel like you're stuck in a loop. Wake up, survive the day, go to bed, and repeat. But deep down, this isn't the life you were meant to live. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you did something that made your soul feel alive? When was the last time you felt proud of yourself? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I'm really trying, and I'm not wasting this life? Because here's the thing. Life is short, but it can be so full, so rich, so meaningful. But only if you choose to live it that way. Too many of us are just existing, not really living. We stay in toxic relationships because we're scared of being alone. We stay in jobs we hate because we're scared of taking risks. We let years pass by while waiting for the perfect time to chase our dreams. And we let our potential rot away while we keep saying, I'll do it later. But guess what? Later isn't promised. And you deserve more than just existing. So today, right now, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I wasting my life? It's a scary question, I know, but the answer will guide you. If you're feeling lost or stuck or unsure about where you're heading, let me tell you something with all my heart. It's not too late. I don't care if you're 16, 26, or 60. You can still change the direction of your life. You still have time, but only if you stop wasting it. You don't have to do something huge. You don't have to become famous or rich or perfect. That's not what life is about. Life is about being present. It's about doing what matters. It's about growing, learning, loving, and leaving this world a little better than you found it. I want you to remember this line. You are not born to just pay bills and die. You are born to feel, to explore, to discover, to fall in love, to cry, to laugh, to build something meaningful, to connect with people, and most importantly, to live a life that feels true to who you are. So stop waiting. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Start now. You don't have to change your whole life overnight, but start small. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Read a book, go for a walk, apologize to someone you hurt, start that blog, send that application, say no to what drains you, say yes to what excites you, drink more water, sleep better, laugh more, forgive yourself, move on. And most importantly, start listening to your soul. Because your soul always knows what you need. You know what really hurts? Looking back and realizing you never really lived, that you spent years being afraid, that you let people's opinions control your choices, that you let fear win. Don't let that be your story. You are more powerful than you think. You are capable of changing your life. You are meant for more than just surviving. But you need to believe that. Let me share something very personal with you. A few years ago, I hit a low point. I felt like I was wasting my life. Every day felt the same. I had dreams, yes, but I was so scared. I didn't know where to start. I was constantly comparing myself to others. I felt behind in everything. I thought, it's too late. I've missed my chance. But then, one day, I had this moment. I was sitting in silence, and a simple thought came into my mind. What if I die with all my dreams still inside me? That question changed me, because honestly, I don't want to leave this world without trying. Even if I fail, I want to know that I lived with courage, that I showed up, that I didn't waste my life waiting. And I want the same for you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know all the answers. But you do have to try. Life is messy, it's unpredictable, but that's what makes it beautiful. So promise yourself today, right now, that you will not waste this one precious life you've been given. Promise yourself that you'll stop living on autopilot. Promise yourself that you'll love harder, forgive faster, dream bigger, and show up even when it's hard. Because honestly, one day, it'll all be memories. And you want those memories to be full of life, not regrets. I'm not saying this because I've figured everything out. I'm saying this because I'm walking the same path. I'm learning too. I'm trying too. But I've decided one thing. I will not waste my life. And I hope you'll make that decision too. So before we end today's talk, I want you to do something simple but powerful. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about your life. Think about the time you've been given. Think about your dreams, your family, your pain, your joy, your regrets. And then say this out loud with me. I will not waste my life. I will live fully. I will live intentionally. I will live with love. Say it again, louder this time. I will not waste my life. You are alive. You are breathing. That's already a gift. Please don't waste it. And before we truly wrap up, let's dive a little deeper. Because promising yourself not to waste your life is one thing, but living that promise day after day, that's where the real work begins. So, how do we do that? How do we transform intention into action, courage into habit, and dreams into reality? Here are a few things that have helped me and might help you too. First, identify your non-negotiables. What are the few things you absolutely must do every single day, no matter what? For me, it's writing, even if it's just a paragraph, moving my body for at least 20 minutes, and connecting with someone I love, whether by text, call, or an actual hug. These are the anchors that keep me grounded, that remind me why I'm here, and that give my days purpose. What are yours? Think about 3 actions you want to protect, even when life gets chaotic. Second, break your big dreams into tiny steps. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by a goal, say, learning a new language, starting a business, or finally getting in shape, that overwhelm can paralyze you. I used to sit in front of my laptop every morning, terrified to write my first page, convinced I wasn't good enough. Then I realized, what if I gave myself permission to write just one sentence? Suddenly, the barrier disappeared. One sentence became a paragraph, then a page, then a chapter. Tiny wins build momentum, and momentum builds the life you want. Third, embrace discomfort. Real growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. I remember the first time I stood on a stage to speak in front of strangers. My hands shook, my voice quivered, and I felt like running away. But when I finished, I felt more alive than ever. Discomfort is a signal. You're challenging your limits, expanding your world. Next time you feel that flutter in your stomach, lean into it. Sign up for that class, pitch that idea, strike up that conversation. Each time you do, you'll shrink your fears and grow your confidence. Fourth, practice radical self-compassion. If you're anything like me, you can be your own worst critic. You'll beat yourself up for missing a workout, for sending an imperfect email, for speaking too softly, for taking a nap. But self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about giving yourself the kindness you deserve so you can try again tomorrow. When you stumble, talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend. Say, "It's okay. You're learning. You're human." Then get back up. Fifth, cultivate gratitude. At the end of every day, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. Big or small. It could be a delicious cup of coffee, a smile from a stranger, or simply the fact that I woke up breathing. Gratitude trains your mind to notice abundance instead of lack. And when you recognize the beauty in your life, you're more motivated to protect it, celebrate it, and share it. Now, let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call her Maya, was stuck in a dead-end job. She'd been there for years, collecting paychecks, but feeling empty inside. Every morning she'd wake up and dread the day ahead. One noon break, on a whim, she sketched a design for the jewelry she'd always dreamed of making. By the end of her lunch hour, she had a prototype. That evening, she posted a photo online. Within days, she'd sold 5 pieces. It wasn't overnight fame, but it was a spark. She started dedicating 15 minutes each day, before work, to refine her craft. 6 months later, she quit her job and launched her small brand. Was it scary? Absolutely. Did she ever doubt herself? Of course. But she decided her life was too precious to sit on the sidelines. And look where that decision put her. Think about Maya's story. You don't have to wait until things are perfect to start. You just have to start. I know some of you are listening and thinking, but I don't have time. Or, I don't have resources. Or, I'm too old, too tired, too scared. Listen carefully. You have exactly the same number of hours in a day as everyone else. What you do with those hours is your choice. And the truth is, every choice matters. Choosing to scroll social media for 30 minutes, or choosing to read a chapter in a book, choosing to hit snooze or to crawl out of bed and take a breath of fresh air, choosing to dwell on failures or choosing to plan your next move. Over time, those tiny choices compound into a life that either feels wasted or feels wonderful. Which do you want? Let's talk about fear for a second. Fear is a liar. It will whisper that you're not ready, that you're not enough, that you should wait. But the real antidote to fear is action. Not volume of action, small, imperfect action. Show up. Even if your heart is pounding out of your chest, even if you feel shaky, that's how you tame fear, by walking through its flames. Should you plan? Absolutely. Should you prepare? Yes. But don't let planning become another form of procrastination. At some point, you need to jump. Okay, I can almost hear you asking, where do I jump? What next? So here's a simple exercise. Grab a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. Draw a circle in the center and write "My life" inside. Then, around the circle, jot down 5 things you want more of in your life: joy, creativity, connection, adventure, purpose. Then draw arrows from the center to each of those words. Next to each arrow, write one tiny action you can take this week to move toward that word. That's it. 5 small actions. This week. Do them. Feel the shift. And remember, progress, not perfection. Celebrate the small wins. If you complete 3 out of 5 actions, that's awesome. If you only complete 1, that's still progress. Reward yourself. Dance, sing, treat yourself to something simple. Acknowledge your courage. As we near the end of today's deep dive, I want to leave you with this final thought. Your life is your message to the world. What story do you want your life to tell? Do you want a story of regrets, of might-have-beens, of what-ifs? Or do you want a story of purpose, of love, of bold choices, of living fully? Your life, this one precious, unpredictable, miraculous life, is the canvas. The brushes and paints are in your hands. So pick up a brush, make a mark, keep painting day after day until the masterpiece emerges. Before we truly let this conversation rest, there are a few bonus reflections I want to share. Things I've picked up from my own journey and from people I deeply admire. Think of these as the hidden ingredients that take your "don't waste your life" promise from good to unbreakable. First, embrace the art of reflection. At the end of each week, find a quiet moment, 5 minutes on a Friday evening perhaps, and ask yourself, what went well? What didn't? What did I learn? Reflection isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. When you notice patterns, like always bailing on your mirror writing practice or repeatedly scrolling instead of sketching, you can course correct. Without reflection, we drift. With it, we steer. Second, learn the lessons of regret. So many of us fear looking back because we don't want to face our missteps. But regrets are powerful teachers. Author Bronnie Ware famously worked in palliative care, and she identified the top regrets people have at the end of life. Among them, wishing you'd had the courage to live a life true to yourself, not the one others expected of you. Wishing you hadn't worked so hard. Wishing you'd expressed your feelings more. Wishing you'd stayed in touch with friends. And wishing you had allowed yourself to be happier. Let those regrets be your compass. Use them to guide today's choices so that, one day, when you look back, you feel pride instead of sorrow. Third, build your tribe. We're social creatures. We need people who understand our quirks, who cheer our small victories, and who call us out when we're slipping back into autopilot. If your current circle doesn't uplift you, seek out communities, online or in person, where passion thrives. A book club, a photography class, a hiking group, a coding meetup. Surround yourself with people who reflect the life you want to live. Their energy will fuel your momentum. Fourth, make learning a lifelong ritual. The world moves fast, and there's always something new to explore. Languages, skills, philosophies, crafts. Commit to being a beginner again and again. Sign up for a class, watch a documentary, read a biography, or interview someone whose path fascinates you. The delight of learning not only enriches your mind, but reminds you that life isn't a checklist. It's an endless playground for curiosity. Fifth, think in seasons, not just days. Sometimes real change takes longer than a morning or even a month. Think in 6-month seasons. This season, I'm exploring painting. Next season, I'm experimenting with online writing. By giving yourself seasonal themes, you balance commitment with flexibility. If you discover halfway through that painting isn't your jam, no problem. You harvested the experience, and now you move on without regret. Sixth, document your journey. Keep a voice note journal or a simple app where you record your wins, your stumbles, your aha moments. When you're in doubt, revisit these recordings. You'll be amazed at how far you've come. Plus, this archive becomes a gift to your future self and to anyone who might be inspired by your story. Seventh, practice saying no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values or goals, you're saying no to something that does. Saying no isn't selfish, it's self-respect. It protects your time, your energy, your clarity. Start small. No, I can't attend that meeting. No, I won't binge another show tonight. As you get comfortable, you'll reclaim hours you never knew were slipping away. Eighth, celebrate imperfection. If you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never start. Your first painting will be clumsy. Your first blog post will be awkward. Your first conversation in a new language will be broken. But guess what? That's where the magic happens. Imperfect beginnings lead to authentic growth. So when you make a mess, laugh, learn, and move on. Ninth, connect with your legacy. Legacy isn't just about monuments or millions. It's about the small echoes you leave in the lives you touch, the wisdom you pass on to a sibling, the kindness you show a stranger, the values you model for a younger cousin. Every day, you write a sentence in your legacy story. Make each sentence count. 10th, and perhaps most powerful, remind yourself that life is an experiment. You have hypotheses. If I wake up at 5 a.m., I'll have time to meditate. You run the experiment. You collect data. You adjust. You iterate. Treat your life like a scientific lab where curiosity, testing, and adaptation are celebrated. When one experiment fails, you're not a failure. You're just gathering data. Okay, breathe. That was a lot. Let it sink in. Remember, the point isn't to add a dozen new habits at once. Pick one or two principles that resonate most with you and weave them into your days. Before we finally close, I want to invite you into a simple, powerful ritual. Find a notebook or open a fresh document on your phone. At the top, write today's date. Underneath, write, "One thing I will do today to ensure I don't waste my life is," then finish the sentence. It could be, "Reach out to an old friend I miss," or "Draft the outline for my novel," or Go for a walk without my phone. Whatever lights you up. Do that thing before you sleep tonight. And tomorrow morning, right after you open your eyes, read that line again. Let it guide your day. Let me close with my favorite quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Life is a journey, not a destination. If you treat each moment as part of a grand adventure, you'll never look back wishing for more. Because every step, every stumble, every joy, every tear will be woven into a life well lived. Real. I want to leave you with one last invitation. An invitation to a little experiment in community. Because one of the most powerful ways to make sure you don't waste your life is to share your journey with others. So here's what I'd love for you to do. In the comments below, finish this sentence. One small step I'm taking today to honor my life is, be as specific as you like. Maybe it's, I'll write 200 words on my story, or I'll call my grandma, or I'll spend 15 minutes sketching. Whatever it is, write it down and own it. Reply to at least 2 people who share their steps. Cheer them on. Ask a follow-up question. Building this tribe right here, right now, will fuel your momentum and theirs. Tag me on Instagram or Twitter with a photo or voice note of your action. Use the hashtag #Don't Waste Your Life so we can celebrate together. I'll highlight some of your posts in next week's community shoutout. Why does this matter? Because accountability and connection turn intention into action. When you declare your commitment out loud, when others witness it, you're more likely to follow through. And when you celebrate each other's wins, you all rise higher. I also want you to know that I have something special coming up. Next week, I'll be hosting a live Q&A right here on YouTube, where I'll answer your questions about mindset, habits, creativity, and more. Drop any questions you have about how to overcome procrastination, how to find purpose, or anything else into the comments now, and I'll cover them on the live stream. And if you've found value in this Don't Waste Your Life deep dive, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And consider subscribing if you haven't already. We're building a community of people determined to live fully and intentionally, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Finally, remember, life is short, but it's yours to shape. Each morning you wake up is a blank page. What story will you write today? How will you choose presence over autopilot? How will you honor this one precious life? I'm so grateful you've spent this time with me. It means the world to know we're in this together. Keep sharing your journey, keep experimenting, keep loving yourself fiercely, and above all, don't waste your life. You're still here, so let's take this even deeper. I want to share 3 powerful practices you can weave into your daily life to guard against wasting your precious time. These aren't one-off tips. They're habits you build piece by piece until living intentionally becomes your default. Practice number 1. Morning intention ritual. Before your phone ever sees the light of day, spend 2 minutes in silence. Close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and ask yourself, what is my one priority today? It could be as big as finish my project proposal, or as simple as be fully present with my partner. Write that intention on a sticky note and keep it somewhere you'll see it, on your bathroom mirror, your laptop, or even as a wallpaper on your phone. That single focus will be your North Star when distractions knock. Practice number 2. Midday reality. Check around lunchtime. pause for 60 seconds. Close your apps, step away from screens if you can, and scan your mind. Am I on track? Am I nourishing my energy? Am I leaning into my intention? If the answer is no, make one small pivot. Take a 5-minute walk, send that overdue email, or hydrate with a big glass of water. These microchecks keep you aligned throughout the day. Practice number 3. Evening gratitude and preview at night. Before you close your eyes, reflect on 3 wins, no matter how small, and 3 lessons learned. Then look ahead. What's one thing I want to invite into tomorrow? Maybe it's more play, bold conversation, or creative exploration. Jot it down. This ritual wraps your day with mindfulness and primes your heart for the next. Now, let me share another story. I once coached a woman, let's call her Priya, who felt like life was slipping through her fingers. She was a software engineer, coding long hours, weekends too, but she lived for Friday nights. She felt stuck in a cycle: work hard, unwind briefly, then back to work. She was successful but empty. We worked on these 3 practices. She started spending 2 minutes each morning visualizing her ideal day, not in a vague Pinterest-style way, but in concrete actions. I'll step outside for 10 minutes. I'll call my sister. I'll read 1 chapter. Midday, she'd check in. Evening, she'd record her wins: a solved bug, a meaningful chat, the fact she cooked dinner instead of ordering takeaway. Within weeks, she felt energized. Within months, she redesigned her role to include mentoring junior devs, something she'd always wanted to try. She realized that life isn't just about hitting KPIs. It's about growth, connection, and purpose. You see, friends, intention without rituals is wishful thinking. Rituals embed your intentions into your reality. Before we truly close, here are a few more reflections. A rapid-fire list of questions and prompts to stir your soul. What scares you most about living fully? Write it down. Then ask, what's the worst that could happen if I faced it? Who in your life embodies the courage you admire? Reach out to them. Tell them why. You'll both feel uplifted. What creative impulse have you ignored? Pick it up today, even if it's just doodling in the margin of a notebook. When was the last time you did something spontaneous? Plan a mini adventure, a day trip, a dance break in your kitchen, or a new food at a local cafe. How can you serve others as you pursue your purpose? Service turns self-interest into shared joy. Volunteer, mentor, or simply listen to someone with empathy. Let's finish with a guided reflection. If you're safe to close your eyes for a moment, lean back, breathe deeply, and imagine your life 1 year from today. See yourself waking up on a morning where you feel proud, energized, and at peace. What are you doing? Who are you with? What small rituals have you built? Hold that image. Let it fill you with warmth and possibility. Now open your eyes and commit. I will take 1 brave step today toward that vision. Say it out loud. Even if you're alone in your room, your voice carries power. And finally, my dear listener, I want you to remember this. Your life is the greatest gift, and your attention is the most precious resource. Where you place it determines the quality of your days. Guard it. Invest it. Celebrate every moment you choose to live on purpose. Thank you for sharing your time, your heart, and your energy with me. It's been an honor to walk with you through this conversation. If you ever feel lost, come back to these words. Let them remind you of the promise you made to yourself and to the world. You're still here, and I can feel that you're not just listening anymore. You're feeling it. You're not just hearing these words with your ears, you're hearing them with your soul. And that's beautiful. That means something inside you is awakening. So before we officially part, I want to leave you with a quiet moment of truth. Wherever you are right now, sitting in your room, lying on your bed, walking down a street with your earbuds in, I want you to take just one deep breath and listen to your own heartbeat. That heartbeat is your proof. Proof that you're alive. Proof that your story is still being written. Proof that it's not too late. Not too late to forgive someone. Not too late to change direction. Not too late to tell someone you love them. Not too late to become who you always wanted to be. Not too late to live a life that feels meaningful, joyful, awake. Because here's the truth. The only moment we are guaranteed is this one. So the question isn't, what should I do with my life? The question is, what can I do with this moment? Can I make someone smile? Can I take the first step toward that dream I keep postponing? Can I speak more gently to myself? Can I give myself permission to begin again? And maybe the most powerful question of all, if today was the last page of my story, would I be proud of how it ends? You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need to pretend to be fearless. You just need to care enough to try. Try showing up for your life. Try choosing presence over perfection. Try choosing courage over comfort. Try choosing meaning over distractions. And when you do, little by little, your life becomes your masterpiece. Not because it's perfect, but because it's true. Your truth, your path, your pace. So here's my final reminder before we close this episode. You matter. Your life matters. What you do with your time, your love, your attention, it matters more than you know. Please don't waste it. Because one day, someone is going to look at you and say, because of you, I didn't give up. Because of you, I believed again. Because of you, I started living with purpose. Let that be your legacy. Let your life be the light that helps someone else find their way. Now, if no one's told you this lately, I'm proud of you. I see your heart. I see your effort. And I believe in your next chapter, even if you can't see it yet. You've got this. You really do. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this podcast touched you, please share it with someone you care about. Let's help more people wake up to the beauty of their own life. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment. It helps this little community grow, and I'd love to hear from you.